All right, let's dive right in. In this explainer, we're exploring a really cool topic, Mercury and the architecture of the mind.
Have you ever noticed that? How some people just seem to process everything out loud, while other people are super quiet, but you can just feel the wheels turning inside? They're taking absolutely everything in?
Well, that difference, that fundamental style of how we each process the world, in astrology, that all comes down to the planet Mercury.
So what does that actually mean? Let's get into it. We're talking about Mercury, your mind style.
I love this analogy. Think of Mercury as your mind's personal operating system. It's not what you think, but how your mind moves. It's the way you process information, the way you speak, how you listen. Really, it's the very lens you see reality through.
And this is a super important point. Mercury has absolutely nothing to do with how smart you are or your IQ. It's not about intelligence. It's about style. It's that little voice inside your head, you know? The one that's constantly narrating your life.
So if Mercury is the narrator of our story, then the astrological house it's in, well, that's the main stage where the narrator performs. It's where we do all our analyzing, our questioning, and yeah, probably our overthinking too. Let's dive into these 12 different mental architectures.
First up, Mercury in the first house. If this is you, your thoughts are practically written on your face. You think through your identity, which means you're direct, sometimes even impulsive. The big watch out here, over-identifying with your ideas. It can be really tough to separate who you are from what you think.
Now in the second house, the mind gets really practical. It's all about value, what's tangible. So communication is more careful, more intentional. The potential trap is getting stuck in rigid thinking, usually because there's this underlying worry about security. Your first question for any new idea is always, okay, but is this sustainable?
All right, Mercury in the third house. This is Mercury's home turf. The mind here is just fast. It's adaptable, it's super curious. Communication is a breeze. You talk to everyone. The downside? Oh yeah, it's distraction. Big time. You can go down a research rabbit hole on something totally random and poof, 2 hours are gone.
With Mercury in the fourth, the mind really turns inward. Thinking is a private, reflective affair. You'll open up, but only with people you truly trust. The tricky part is dwelling on the past. You might find yourself replaying conversations in your head, trying to figure out what was really being said.
Oh, Mercury in the fifth house is the performer. Thoughts are naturally creative. You think in stories. Your communication has this amazing flair, maybe a lot of humor. But the mental trap? A little bit of exaggeration for effect, or maybe needing a round of applause for your great ideas. You don't just tell a story, you put on a show.
Okay, the sixth house. Here, the mind is like a high-powered magnifying glass. It's all about analyzing the details. Thinking is super methodical. Communication is incredibly precise. But this can lead to a trap of overthinking tiny flaws, right? You're the one who always spots the typo before anyone else.
From Mercury in the seventh house, thinking happens with other people. It's a dialogue. You don't really know what you think until you talk it out. This makes you a fantastic diplomat, but the trap is relying too much on what other people think to figure out your own opinion. The eighth house mind is a detective. It's always seeking depth. Thinking is psychological, intuitive, always digging for the why behind the what. Communication is very selective. You need to trust someone to let them in. The potential pitfall here is becoming a bit suspicious, maybe overanalyzing everyone's hidden motives.
In the ninth house, thinking just goes big. It expands outward to huge ideas, philosophy, what you believe in. You speak with this incredible conviction. The trap, though, can be a tendency to preach a little, or maybe to get so focused on the grand theory that you dismiss the small but important details.
Now, up in the 10th house, the mind gets strategic. It's all about ambition and long-term goals. Communication is very professional, very carefully considered, especially in public. And that's the trap, right? A constant worry about your reputation, about how your words are going to land.
The 11th house mind is all about the future. It's innovative. It's about the group. It's about what's next. You shine in group settings, brainstorming big ideas. The challenge? Sometimes there's a tendency to be a little detached, to intellectualize emotions instead of just feeling them.
And finally, the 12th house. Here, the mind is mysterious. It operates behind the scenes. Thinking is super intuitive, almost poetic, which can make it really hard to explain your nonlinear thoughts in a linear way. This can lead to a trap of self-doubt. You just know something instinctively, but you can't quite find the words to explain it logically.
So you see,
This is so much more than just how you talk. We're talking about the very architecture of your perception. It's how your mind builds the world you live in.
It shapes the questions you don't even realize you're asking.
It shapes the deep-seated assumptions you make every single day. And maybe most importantly, it shapes the stories you tell yourself about your life, about what's happening and why it all matters.
So, if you find your Mercury's house, you'll understand more than just how you speak. You'll start to answer a much bigger question. How is your mind right now quietly shaping your entire world?